What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're living like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your weakness? What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection lights a spark. You already know me when we dance in the dark. We're dreamers. We're living like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, we come alive. We come alive. Oh, we come alive. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive.
She was in love with a boy, in love with a girl, so in love with the world, so beautiful. She was in love with the night, the way the sun shines. All she needed was light to have to hold, and nobody could make her feel down. She was always smiling from ear to ear, and everybody wondered around, will she ever know the feeling of tears? All she said to them was live your life just like you're young again. No, don't you cry, just get back up again. 'Cause if you wanna laugh, then live it better. If you want love, then stay together. If you wanna smile, then be forever. She was the curious kind, to hate she was blind, always love on her mind. Just come what may, she couldn't quite figure out what fear's all about, so she put it aside all night, all day, and everybody talked about her. Said there must be something wrong with this girl. All she said to them was live your life just like you're young again. No, don't you cry, just get back up again. 'Cause if you wanna laugh, then live it better. If you want love, then stay together. If you wanna smile, then be forever. so abstract. Yeah, it's complicated. What you say, the way you act, well, it makes me so confused. I don't know what to do anymore. Can't you just make up your mind? My heart drops when you play around. How can you be up when I'm down? Don't wanna think about it right now.
won't you come over? Let me get to know ya. Hey, nah, 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 nah. Delve into emotion. Leave us in this moment.
Shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different. Still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments. Doesn't mean I don't need you. I fell in love with your colors. They kinda tell me what I'm thinking. Fell in love with the way we are and the way we lose it. There's something different about us and the reason why we stay. They never know where we will fall. Nobody can see us, still they wanna tear us apart. There's something different about the way we are. There's something different about us.
Hello everyone and welcome to the RiftMSTRS Last Chance Qualifier. My name is Moose and I am joined here at the desk by Zephyr. Real quick, Zephyr, 2 words or less, how you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely fine, but I think we've got some information to share before we move any further.
You know, that was more than 2 words, Zephyr, but you know, we're gonna just get through it here real quick. We want to talk about it and we want to pull up the bracket really quick. We want to talk about what's going on and what is next for today's bracket. Our first scheduled match was supposed to be Who Are They versus Sentinels. However, Who Are They are AFK. We have not been able to get a hold of them, and they have now at this point forfeited their position here in the semifinal match, which means that Sentinels immediately wins the 2-0 in that series, are going to be facing off against either Tribe Gaming or Apes Together Strong for the last chance qualifier to be completed. That matchup going to be happening in just a bit as we get those players set up. So just bear with us a couple more minutes, folks. We'll be back again for our next semifinals matchup, Apes Together Strong versus Tribe Gaming. Don't want to miss it. We'll be back shortly.
There's something different about us.
your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your weakness? What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection lights a spark. You already know me when we dance in the dark. We're dreamers. We live it. We're dreamers. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. Something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the RiftMasters Last Chance Qualifier. My name is Moose, and I am joined by my good friend Zephyr. We are ready to jump into our next semifinals matchup, Tribe Gaming versus Apes Together Strong.
Right, and this is going to be our only semifinals match of the day. If you're just joining us, of course, we just had Sentinels make an absolute movement here to finals due to a forfeit from Who Are They? So they will be the matchup for whomever pulls out of this one here. And I don't know, Moose, it's a tough uphill battle for one of these teams, I would say.
One of these teams, I could wonder who. Let's take a look at the bracket really quick. Let's see how we got to this situation as we get to look at this last chance qualifier. Whoever wins this bracket is going to make it off to the playoffs next or this weekend. So very important for whoever is able to make these games and make it happen. Tribe Gaming going to be facing off against Apes Together Strong. As you saw yesterday, Tribe Gaming taking on Infinity, taking them against 2-0. Apes Together Strong was able to take on Giannis Esports and was able to get them in a 2-0 as well. Whoever wins this game gets to face off against Sentinels in the grand finals, and whoever wins grand finals here today will be making it into the playoffs. So it is extremely important for both these teams to bring their A games towards this game and towards the series.
Right, and it's not just because the series has all the metal to go with it. There's also, of course, going to be that large prize pool attached once you finally make it towards our main event here. Granted, our qualifiers have passed. The victory tonight is technically the prize coming out of the last chance qualifier. But the playoffs, they're still on the board here. $15,000 up for grabs.
That is indeed a lot of schmeckles just for being able to play Wild Rift really well. $8,000 for the first place finisher, and then $4,000, $2,000, and $1,000 for those four playoff contenders. And this is the final opportunity for these teams to be able to make it happen. Now, you were talking a little bit earlier, Zephyr, one of these teams is definitely favored coming into today's matchup. I would think that is Tribe Gaming. I know that Rafa yesterday was talking about how he thinks that Tribe Gaming is the heavily favored team, has some shenanigans about that, saying that, if Apes Together Strong is somehow able to pull this off, there's going to be some sort of consequence that Rafa's going to be willing to commit for Apes Together Strong. So, there's a lot riding on this matchup for sure.
Absolutely here. Obviously, I don't have to explain it to you guys, but just to set up the narrative, Tribe Gaming, they've just gotten back from Horizon Cup, and while the results may be lackluster, they're still here in the North American circuit looking to continue to prove themselves and show that they are the best of the best. Now, they couldn't have the opportunity to play in the qualifiers due to their participation in Horizon Cup here, so this is, of course, their last shot. I have personally looking to make sure that Tribe Gaming is just as strong as we left them. And now with DNZO being the Dragon Lane carry now here for this roster, they arguably have one of the most strongest bots out of, I would say, anybody in North America.
Extremely robust would be the correct words to say. They are very strong, extremely dynamic, and they have a lot of synergy just right out of the gate. That's only just going to continue to get better as they continue to play in more tournaments, in more games, and just get that practice going. But Apes Together Strong, making it this far with the opportunity to shake up today's bracket and take Tribe Gaming out of the running to make it into playoffs by being able to make this series in their favor. We're going to start off with the Diana and the Riven. Really strong. Very excited to see what Diana is going to bring to the table here. We've seen a lot of great plays. We saw Sentinels pull it out. We saw Tribe Gaming pull it out yesterday. And now Apes Together Strong is looking to use it effectively with that Riven in the jungle to really rack up that damage.
All right, and they're looking to make effective use in that early state of the game where you have full rotation and clear available and gets you out there faster than, say, something like the Olaf, who has to wait upon that window, or the Ragnarok to be fully available here. Now, that means Apes Together Strong are very obviously looking to take it toe-to-toe into this matchup here. They want to run this skill up against Tribe Gaming, which I gotta tell you is a tall task to behold.
A tall task indeed, but in terms of the lineup that they've got so far, Garen, Riven, and Diana as their top three lanes, really strong. I'm very excited to see these top meta picks being used by a team here in the semifinal bracket. Tribe Gaming looking towards more of the Dragon Lane pickups, picking up the Caitlyn and the Nami. I think the Nami more of a safer pickup here. They don't want to give the Nami over to Apes Together Strong because it's just so good up against Olaf. They were talking about that yesterday. We saw that played really well. I believe Sentinels pulled that out. Nami was able to separate the team from Olaf's Ragnarok, make it really difficult for them to follow up. So picking up that Nami with the Caitlyn going to be a pretty decently powerful bottom lane or Dragon Lane there for Tribe Gaming. Bans coming through. Renekton and Fiora are going to be taken away to avoid some counters potentially against the Garen.
Well, I just want to put it out there. The Garen, definitely a strong support pick as well right now, so could potentially route down there. Seeing what is that Dragon Lane come out solidifies the level of control that they're looking to put down there in the Dragon Lane. Garen becomes a hefty front to deal with in terms of pushing out damage, but with the extra range and sustain that we'll be seeing out of the two there, Caitlyn and Nami, they should be able to respond. Chuck, though, able to secure that Camille. It was never banned out here and is still just as good of a pick up towards that Baron lane. For now, though, we look to finish off with starting here in the mid. He has been a little bit more prone towards those AP carries recently, and hey, speak of the devil, Twisted Fate.
Yeah, Twisted Fate coming through. Orianna was banned out. That's one of his more premier pickups that Tribe Gaming could have possibly gone for. That being banned out, Twisted Fate is now going to be available. Really excited to see what this more global presence that Starting is going to be able to have is going to be able to bring to the table here in game number one. But like we were talking about, we could potentially see Garen move down to the support role. They pick up to the Tristana first for Apes Together Strong, and that does leave them the opportunity to decide whether or not they want to have the Garen go up against the Camille or have the Garen and the Tristana face off against the Nami and the Caitlyn. Let's see how it plays out, though.
Personally, I would not like to see it, but it will go instead. And now they set up this Dragon Lane, of course, with that Blitzcrank to hopefully enable in some way to find success here. It can be just as explosive. There's not a lot of really great response in terms of the mobility or control that you get out of Nami and Caitlyn, especially within those early moments before you have the hyper scaling and really severe damage out of a Caitlyn who can pull it off against their oppressor here. So everything that Apes have thrown out here, albeit taking a little bit more of the weak side with that Garen pickup in the top, given Camille's control here. Other than that, I mean, they're just looking to run this one down against anyone and everybody that they play up against and find early success before you have what is the scaling, massive compositional rotations and heavy dive potential from Tribe Gaming that becomes enabled the later it goes on.
Yeah, and so with that being said, you were talking about, Tribe Gaming's expectations coming into today's bracket, and in terms of the RiftMasters series in general, they're expected to do very well in this qualifier. They're expected to, possibly and most likely make playoffs. Sentinels is waiting in the wings to potentially be that contender against them. Now it's basically, what is Eighth Together Strong going to be able to do with, I think, is a pretty solid composition. We saw Diana and Garen work really well together. That Moonfall into the spin to win just deals massive damage very, very quickly. You've got the Riven to potentially pile on some CC on top of that, and then Tristana's going to be very safe, potentially being able to survive a lot of potentially that dive composition that Tribe Gaming is going to be built towards so far. Will that be the case, though? We've seen Tigers do some amazing work early game in the bottom lane to really, disrupt that dragon lane and get those first bloods, or get that kill and get that that dragon lane, bottom lane, excuse me, very quickly off the ball and just get it rolling there. So will that happen again today with the Olaf? I think that it's definitely a possibility, but Tigers can pretty much do what he wants here.
What I don't want to see from Eighth Together Strong, they do have a composition that can excel into each of these matchups, like I brought up in the early. What I don't need them to do is find themselves in a position where you have that dive potential from Tribe able to capitalize at a moment's notice here. Something that I really appreciate about Tribe, and it goes to show why they are considered the best of the best across the board here in NA, is how cohesive they play as a team. If you've watched not only their matchup yesterday here on RiftMasters, but also some of their additional play since they've come back from Horizon Cup, notably, they were in Team Liquid's weeklies earlier this week, about 5 days ago. They have a remarkable ability to cohesively move as a unit and take down targets that they find are out of position or in a realm of danger.
I'm trying to remember. You talk about cohesion, and I my mind went immediately to adhesion, like glue. And I'm just trying to figure out different glue
It still
brands.
works. They stick together.
They do. But Eighth Together Strong, they obviously have Gorilla Glue. What like Tribe Gaming's probably, kind of like that Elmer's glue, very, very well known, very consistent. And I expect them to, really bring that adhesion and that cohesion and that, sensation or whatever it may be to the table here today. And excited to see what they're going to be able to do. My question for you now, Zephyr, I want to talk to you about I think the mid lane here, because you got Diana versus Twisted Fate. Diana's come into favor.
Yeah.
Not super recently, but recently enough.
It's definitely strong.
Talk to me about, what the play is going to be here for this Diana in the mid lane. What are we expecting really quick as we get into this first game?
Well, it definitely takes a second to scale up and find the great potential that allows it to be that heavy AP mage assassin. So we might be waiting for at least the pickup towards what is the window that is Moonfall, or some of those additional burst items that present themselves here. But as you can already tell, Starting doing an incredible job of controlling the pacing of this one. Not just that, but also keeping the control on, say, the honey fruit as well here. So leaving no stone unturned.
Super rude. That's, rude, just taking away that one. But we do have a little bit of a battle coming through here in the mid lane.
Not even. They lose this one here. I mean, they had the vision already set up. We didn't get to catch it in the early game, but Tribe made the moves appropriately to make sure that that lane was safe. They know that you're going to have Kaizu find its way in at some point here, and most notably, it's very common that the mid is the beginning. Now, Tiger looking for the dive under turret.
Speaking of consistency here, Tigers always being that really oppressive early game diver in the bottom lane. Once again, we get to see it. This time, not a kill, actually. So, Eighth Together Strong, staying alive.
Yeah, and good from Akano to find what was that hook to disrupt the play there. Now a flash over the wall with the knock straight onto Tigers to secure that kill out. A very nice rotation, finding Tigers out of position.
Finally get to see Tigers kind of falter there for that early game power that we see from him in the early game. I'm very surprised to see him fall short. I'm a little bit, surprised that he actually went for it, but, at the end of the day, he does fall. First blood for Apes Together Strong, looking to make it more. A lot of damage onto Dienzio, going to get knocked up, but will not fall. Max Green is extremely low, but it is a 1-for-1. Oh, maybe a 2-for-2.
It is a 2 for 2 there. Both bot laners falling. Notably, they both pick up an equivalent amount of kills, but it's one last rotation that comes through there. A nice play off getting the Destiny, taking advantage of that quick window for make a rotation there as Starting finds the pickup onto Kaizu. So technically, the assist plays into the favor and actually puts Dienzio a little bit ahead there.
A little bit ahead. That's the BF sword coming out. We get to see some extra items still coming through for both teams, of course. But still, you know, the game is very even. Akenyo is going to find another nice grab. Chuck is in trouble. Level 4 on this Blitzcrank, so he doesn't yet have his ultimate available. Chuck barely able to survive.
Right. One thing I do want to point out here, off of that nice play finding the kill, a little bit of a gold lead continued to be assumed here from Starting. It comes back from that early kill with the nice Rod of Ages to work with here. So already kind of accelerating his lead in the mid lane and now looking to spread the wealth. He's got a rotation incoming.
Now we got to see whether or not Kai's going to be able to survive this potential gank again. This time he falls. It's going to be 1-2 down for Apes Together Strong. Tigers will fall, but once again, Starting with some nice play. Lunar Rush is going to come through. A Moonfall ready to go. Nice Moonfall. Lot of damage. Dienzio is low, but he does not fall just yet. Means that Nam has to stay in a little bit too much or a little bit too long and ends up falling short. That is a double kill now for Starting.
And the thing was, that could have gone better for Apes Together Strong, but the skill level presented there from Dienzio, successfully flashing, kiting that one out, pumping as much damage as possible, even though the Caitlyn is such an immobile champion. That on top of Starting, converting it into some extra damage to work with, found them the lead in that trade there. But as you just saw, Kaizu finding a nice response, a little bit of revenge here onto Starting. It's a big shutdown.
Yeah, very bloody first couple of minutes here as for Apes Together Strong is coming out with a pretty strong showing. They've been able to get Tribe Gaming off of their, really consistent early game footing that we know that they have. Now today, with the Rift Herald getting taken, it's a 1-for-1 neutral objective, but this Rift Herald going to be taken up topside could potentially mean the first tower goes towards Tribe.
No, absolutely, it's the first tower there. What I like from this, though, is that Apes Together Strong are just as quick to respawn across the map. Ooh, good Hextech ultimatum to divide what was that Demacian Justice into the hookshot there before I was so rudely interrupted by, yet again, what looks to be another fight.
Uh-oh, in trouble here. Is he going to be able to get out? No, he does not. That is going to be Chuck now, actually. I'm sorry, not Chuck. Dienzio picking up his 4th kill.
Dienzio surprisingly able to find some great success on that Caitlyn, taking great advantage there of that additional damage and poke that is available here on this champion. It always just seems to be in the best of positions, which is surprising given the fact that Apes Together Strong, this whole composition is about running you down. If anyone would be privy towards that in terms of a weakness, it should be the Dienzio Caitlyn pick here. Either way, though, it's a massive success. You now have some really great gold leads found here towards our mid and dragon lane separately, pushing them to a 4K lead overall here for Tribe.
Super impressive to watch. I mean, it didn't feel like Tribe Gaming was so far in the lead. They're only up by 1 kill right now, but their ability to control the map and control what fights they do or do not want is just unparalleled in the NA scene, and their rotations just continuing to be superior to Apes Together Strong, getting them that 4,000 gold lead, now almost 5,000 gold lead at this point, Zephyr. It's worrisome, but, you're not out of this game just yet if you're Apes Together Strong. Diana is still doing some work. You've got Black Cleaver ready to go for Kai's. So there's some hope still, but you are on the ropes, I would say.
It definitely is looking a little bit more dire here. I didn't get to discuss it in draft, but Apes Together Strong, this whole composition is looking to fight you, run you down, but unable to do so. Quick response. Now the Olaf in with the Ragnarok. That's going to be expended on. Yes! finally, Kaizu finds those last little bit of autos, but the response from Chuck is available, coming through there with that Hextech ultimatum, able to pick their initial kill up onto Kaizu, but taken low in response. Nam flashing forward, going to turn his attention back to Max Green, trying to front this one out, be the bodyguard for his squad. Damas and Justin Kuhn used maybe just a little bit too early, but he still finds success in with the Ignite there to take out Max Green. Now starting the deep dive into the back with the Destiny, unable to find the kills he wants, but at least pushing them back.
Beautiful fight there. Everyone getting in on the action, but it ends up being Tribe Gaming, I think, coming out on top of that. Chuck with enough health to be able to push forward that bottom lane. And on top of that, really want to shout out Max Green there. A beautiful tidal wave into that Aqua prison, picking up to, yes, several players fall, but it's that momentum and it's those little small successes in your mechanics that really put that team fight into Tribe's favor.
Right, and as I was so rudely interrupted by all the plethora of action here, the one thing that Apes Together has kind of going from it is the fact that this comp doesn't split whatsoever. They are all consistently on the same page and should be trying to dive or find their way into a backline delete target like DNZia or starting here. The thing is, Tribe, as you've seen, great at waiting those window outs and biding their time there. You saw them expend so many resources on the pull from Keno on this Blitzcrank, and as a result, when those windows were officially down, you saw the quick revitalization there of Tribe on their counterattack.
Right now, I'm worried. I mean, starting right now, 5-1-2 at 9,200 gold is way in the lead and really helping carry and propel this team into the mid game. Almost up to third items, but Apes Together strong. Starting off the Rift Herald. Maybe feeling a little scared here. Rocket Grab does not land. We got Ragnarok getting used into the tidal wave. Not going to hit anybody, but it does get them off of the Rift Herald, which means that it goes towards Apes or to Tribes Gaming. It's going to be a beautiful X-Tech ultimatum as well. Kai's is going to be in trouble. Moonfall is going to get used, but Max Green is the first to fall, but will it be enough?
Starting on the side.
Tribe Gaming continuing to just get the damage, get the kills. It's going to be Destiny going to try to get the kill on Kai's. He does. They want more. They want the ace. Kroon's in trouble. Starting wants it. He's going for it, and he gets the double kill. It's an ace for Tribe Gaming.
And it was so close there for Apes Together strong. They were almost able to find the full damage that they needed to split upon targets like DNZO. The problem was it just didn't come through quick enough. I mean, seriously, they had the complete Moonfall, got the double target down, but they didn't find starting. You saw his quick rotation there in the backside, and he continued to pump out damage, whether they liked it or not here. And ooh! So close, that Ignite preventing the heal from incoming through there on Max Green.
Man, I almost was like, my word, Max Green is a hero, and almost had it, but the Ignite is gonna be a Kenyo taking that kill with the Ignite. Tidal Wave's gonna get used with this Dragon, and it's gonna be a steal as well. Tigers with it. Hextech ultimatum onto a Kenyo. He's not gonna be able to get out of that one, but it ends up being a 1-for-1, maybe a 2-for-1 in favor of Tribe. It is actually a 2-for-2 as Max Green also falls, but the Dragon goes to Tribe.
Still found success even in the face of a numbers disadvantage there, and that doesn't look good. Starting has been the main proprietor of these winning team fights for at least the last 5 minutes. The fact that the team is now strong enough to make this work 4v5 without him, I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah, and once again, shout out to Max Green. I mean, probably one of the best in the business when it comes to that support role in the Dragon lane. We've seen him really put in some damage with those tidal waves. Even if they don't actually connect onto anyone on Apes Together Strong, the displacement that it forces them to go through just really makes it super clutch, and I've been very impressed with this play so far.
Right, but it's been absolutely magnificent, and while he was not able to save starting, he's got plenty of further opportunities to do so in these potential final minutes of this game. Now sitting at a 10k gold lead, Tribe's whole composition was all about making it towards the mid to late, given their full scaling potential. Now that all the windows are lined, the item pools are looking just as good as well here. They're in the perfect position to run Apes Together down strong.
Yeah, and remember, mid lane inhibitor turret fell off of that last ace, so that's going to be super minions coming through. A beautiful rocket grab on a max screen means that he falls, but the Desi's going to be used, so it's going to be support for support falling in the bot lane. A 4v4 battle as the turret now becomes the siege target. They pick it up and they head back over to either the reset or to the mid lane.
The thing is, even if the trades don't work out completely in their favor here, Tribe are always one step ahead. They managed to pick up whether it be the turret, the dragon here, and while I will admit this hasn't been the cleanest performance from Tribe, as we saw them just a day ago go absolutely perfect in a game here against Sentinels, it is to be understood regarding the comp that Apes Together Strong has picked out here. It does a great job at splitting up the potential of Tribe Gaming, but even still, with that on the board, they've continued to respond.
And at this point, Apes Together Strong, they're going to need a miracle. They're going to need to be strong and come together for a pretty substantial performance, either at the Baron or maybe at the next Dragon fight to potentially maybe get an ace and then run it down to be able to get the win. And right now, Tribe Gaming is just not allowing them to get back on their feet. We've got the Baron getting started. We've got Chuck in the bottom lane just minding his own business, keeping the tower alive. Will it be enough, though, as we get maybe a Baron fight here?
Baron is taken down, and they're looking very low there. Fall through from Kaiser to find the dive, but good flash is going to be expended as a result. No ults to be found there, and nothing gained here even after their full rotation in from Apes Together Strong.
Man, that's so unfortunate because Chuck was able to just do whatever he wanted in bottom lane. That was a 5v4 fight. The Baron getting taken quickly enough. And this is going to be very scary as Tribe Gaming will take that tower. The inhibitor is now down. Chuck will hook shot away. He says sayonara, but they go back in for the fight. Starting is there, just looking to be able to continue to keep up the damage. Tech ultimate is going to land onto the Diana, but it will end up falling. And the damage is there, like you said, Zephyr. And now with Tribe in the base, it's looking inevitable for a Tribe victory.
Double minion waves crashing in here. Good tidal wave to stun this one out. Starting, moving forward, a massive hit, but it doesn't even matter. They don't need kills to finish off the Nexus instead. Tribe Gaming finding first victory of the day.
Man, I mean, that was just textbook performance once again from arguably the best team in NA. They were the representatives for NA for Horizon Cup for a reason, and D'Enzio being added onto the roster, it just shows that they just are continuing to grow. We've saw some great performances out of pretty much everybody on the list, but the stars of this show, in my opinion, starting on that TF, beautiful Destiny at level 5 to get the ball rolling, and Max Green, really crucial tidal waves in these team fights to continue to keep that snowball getting bigger and bigger.
Right, and it just seemed like there was a chokehold this entire game here from Tribe. Yes, there was definitely some mitigation performed by starting there, but you still can give hefty praise over to players like D'Enzio, who performed just as well, finding major success in this bot lane, which I gotta say is a problem here. You look at Apes Together Strong in the composition that they drafted out here. They wanted to win. They looked for lane advantage, and that never came through here. This is the true test to the mettle of their skill, because Tribe really is the best of the best, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny it. They play some really good Wild Rift, Zephyr, and I think that they play better than most, I would say. Probably like a vast majority of the players here in the NA scene, and it's definitely shown here today. You were talking about D'Enzio putting in the work, had the most damage in the game. Zephyr, I can't believe it. I thought starting was just continuing to shuffle out those cards, and even then, D'Enzio finding that positioning in at Infinity Edge, definitely helping out with that, and as he continues to develop his item set, was just so dominant in being able to keep that damage going. So Tribe Gaming going to be able to take the first of this best of 3 series. Apes Together Strong is not out of it, but they are now with their backs up against the wall.
Right, and just to remind everyone, once you lose here, there is no more chance for your participation in Rift Masters as a whole here. So if there's anything to leave on the table, empty your pockets now here. Apes Together Strong potentially have just one last shot here. And I don't know what I particularly may want to see out of this composition here. Now, I do think they have some decent rotations, and they do find full 5-man fights to what is an early acceleration compared to some other teams here. The composition itself did not quite play into the team fight capabilities, but even still, with their setup, they just needed to capitalize and find just a better source out of anything there. You saw their dive towards the bot lane. They had a full man roster to try to make that one work, and even still, they came up short against a squad who looks to play a little bit later on.
And unfortunately for Apes Together Strong, like you said, last chance, one final shot, one final opportunity for them to maybe make the reverse sweep, get a 2-1 against Tribe Gaming. We're going to see whether or not they can do that as we get into game number 2 here in just a minute. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back shortly.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We're living like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. There's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your weakness? What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection lights a spark. You already know me when we dance in the dark. We're dreamers. We're living like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. There's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. Tell me that you want me. I can see you want me by the look in your eyes. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive in the nighttime. There's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime.
And welcome back, everyone. We have got the Wild Rift Last Chance Qualifier Rift Masters here. Moose and Zephyr ready to go in for game number 2 between Apes Together Strong and Tribe Gaming. Now, if Tribe Gaming is able to win this one, they face off against Sentinels in our Last Chance Qualifier Grand Finals.
Coming off of that last game, I would not be surprised if that's something that does present itself here. The sides have officially switched though, so we're going to see maybe some compositional differences depending on the first pick here, but so far the bans have yet to change. Apes Together Strong have currently stuck to their guns, Orianna, Akshan, Senna, so still plenty of picks to work their way through.
Yeah, and that's always the difficulty when it comes to a premier team like Tribe. You can ban out, the Orianna, you can ban out the Senna, but you leave the Diana open, you leave the Caitlyn open, you leave the Olaf open, you leave just so much opportunity for Tribe Gaming to build a composition around them. So it's basically picking and choosing who you think are the most problematic champions against the compositions that you guys like to, or that Apes Together Strong, you guys as Apes Together Strong like to play, and trying to be able to maybe develop around that. You do get first pick this time, so very important that you use that effectively to get going in this draft.
I will say I don't know where we might want to see Apes Together Strong playthrough, but Tribe Gaming, they do acknowledge the power here of that Camille and are going to take it away. This time around, Medicine, trying to give them the taste of it. Here, Caitlyn picked in response, but just as quickly, the poke and heavy control of that Varus is going to be picked out in response to try to counter this.
Yeah, Varus was banned out, I believe, in the first round. I think that was the switch up between Apes Together Strong and Tribe. Varus was taken away from D'Enzio in game number 1. Regardless of that, is now available for him here in game number 2. We saw him put in work with it yesterday, and we're expecting to see him do it once again here. The Olaf T-Tigers maybe wanting a little bit of redemption after the maybe weird gank that he had early on in game number 1, trying it again game number 2.
Oh, either way, we see just the same amount of priorities put into the Dragon Lane this time around for Apes Together Strong. They're going to be taking it out again. Max Green, actually, this is... okay, we're getting almost a mere finish here for Apes Together Strong, all down from the mid here, copying starting D'Enzio and Max Green, and we've seen how this composition works perfectly from Tribe Gaming last time around. They themselves are matching it equivalently.
Yeah, I mean, you pick up the Diana at that point. I think that's like not the obvious choice, but with the Orianna and the Ziggs banned out, picking up that Diana, that Moonfall is just so strong.
It looks good on it.
It builds into so many compositions as well right now, so I expect Tribe Gaming to really put in a lot of pressure, especially with putting in a lot of work on a lot of these different mid laners. Garen is going to get banned out, so that top tier, Baron laner going to be taken away. Braum is going to be banned out from Apes Together Strong. Riven, the last ban for Tribe.
Now, I'd like to see what Tribe picks out. I was going to say the Recon would be something good. They have a lot of potential to set things up within this bot lane. Granted, now you have 3 of your major engaged supports no longer available. You still have pickups like Leona. I don't know if they're going to go down the route of making this more of a safe bot lane, trying to play into things like the John and such that have worked out here. But instead, they of course secure that top lane. They're going to leave the counter pick over here towards Apes Together Strong, but they're still going to run it just as early with just as much potential from Chuck here on this Renekton.
Oh, they're definitely going Blitzcrank. That's my like really big prediction here. I'm kidding. I don't think that they're gonna go Blitzcrank, but you know what? It'd be cool to see, because we saw Apes Together Strong pull it out in game 1. I'd like to see maybe Max Green show us what a top tier Blitzcrank can do. Maybe a little bit excited to see it, but that's going to come through. But Jax and Darius are the final 2 pickups here for Apes Together Strong. We saw Jax be used to full effect by Tribe Gaming yesterday, and now Apes Together Strong looking to have that similar success. The beautiful potential that they're able to bring in with that 2-item power spike could potentially be there. And unfortunately, I don't get the Blitzcrank. I get the Leona. It's still probably the logical pick. There's a reason why I'm not top tier play in Wild Rift, because I try to do weird things like that, but regardless, Leona coming through.
Well, either way, it was one of the last engaged supports available here, and obviously notable here for Tribe Gaming if they're going to give themselves a comp that's looking to run you down across the board here. They level great control in the Dragon Lane with that additional poke advantage from the Varus, and having Leona to strap on with it gives them that extra little oomph that they need to potentially secure those kills early here. In turn, Apes Together Strong, I know we just brought it up with the Jax being picked out, gives me the full picture of this composition. While the Darius can potentially find some against this Renekton here. I don't think Chuck will ever find his way into that level of danger. As a result, everything else here for their comp definitely needs time. And we saw what even just a few moments of good control in these waves and how you begin to spread it can be played, given that we saw what was these champs picked out by Tribe in game 1 here. Can Apes Together Strong pull off the same thing without bleeding out? Because honestly, I think the punishment this time around for not finding success in kind of stunting your bleeding and trying not to go full hemorrhage is 10 times worse compared to game 1.
Yeah, I think the chronology of this game, especially within the first 5-6 minutes, is going to really determine the outcome here. I want to see Apes Together Strong have a good level 5 with the Twisted Fate, find the Destiny, find the play to be able to get the ball rolling. I would love to see it, especially in the bottom lane. I think that that's where you're going to be getting a lot of your damage, at least in being able to stunt the growth that Tribe Gaming is going to go for. But if you're able to maybe find something in the jungle, maybe get this Jax early or off the ground running really quickly as well, there's options there. But I just want to see it. I don't care what happens. I just want to see it.
I'd love to see it too here, but they can't make faulty choices. You can have rotations, you can have the Destiny come through and find its way towards any of these lanes, but I'm telling you right now, Tribe Gaming are going to take complete dominance in each of the wave states here. You're not going to see that strong of a response from the Caitlyn Nami bot. They're constantly going to be pressured out. You're going to see what is someone like Dienzio step past that wave with Leona and continue to zone this one, and slowly that can be replicated across the entire map from starting all the way up to Chuck as well. And with that chokehold always being prevalent here, when you try to make rotations apparent, you're going to be coming into these lanes already at what is like a 500 to 1,000 gold disadvantage.
Man, I hope that Apes Together Strong has a strategy to be able to counter that. There are ways to be able to deny this early game pressure, to deny the opportunities that Tribe Gaming is trying to set up for themselves. I hope that they're going to be able to make it happen, but we've seen Tribe Gaming really rinse and repeat the same strategy in the early game. Get Tigers down to the bottom lane, try to get Dienzio and Max Green into a good situation, make sure that that bottom lane is in control for themselves. They are setting themselves up for a wild success in that with the Leona, with the Varus. Will they be able to make it happen, though? It's looking really, really good for them in terms of the initiation and the control that they've got in that early game. Apes Together Strong gonna have to play really well. They're gonna have to show us why they were able to make it to semifinals, and we get to see them make it happen here today. Game number 2, Tribe Gaming looking to make it a clean sweep.
So we do get to see the start of this game out here, and this is what I wanted to look at. Chuck giving them the early push to give the ability to starting and be able to walk into that enemy jungler, get some early vision out and the information that will lead them to knowing where Kaizu's next rotation will be here. What I find interesting, he takes some time. He's going to utilize that Scryer's Bloom to see if there was anything expended out in return from Apes Together Strong there.
So this time it's going to be Tigers actually starting off top side, picks up the red buff, picks up the chickens, and will then maybe make his way downtown towards Nam and Akeno. But Dienzio going to be in trouble here a little bit. Max Green keeping up with it. Nice use of the honey fruit to get that health back, but so far early pressure going towards Apes.
Right, and the wave was already set into control due to Nam and them with their combo on this Nam and getting out there with the extra damage that allowed them to push this wave and find some early control there. A little bit hasty from Dienzio. I know the Bears can definitely step up and continue to create pressure here, but it definitely deserves a little bit of time. For now, though, hefty engage from starting the follow through to behold there. It's a first kick up from Tigers.
Man, Akeno, I mean, great use of the warding, was able to see that the blue buff wasn't taken, and really great play coming through from Tigers. You know, with that ward being dropped, they didn't think that he was going to be bot side, but still, regardless, Kyun now in trouble, going to be having to flash away, will survive, but uses summoner spells in order to make it happen. Tigers, though, not done yet.
Tries to find his way in there, but it's a nice response from Kiz. The good pull back into turret, straight into the axe. Didn't realize that a response would be available here from Apes Together Strong's jungle. As a result, they're both going to fall there. Notably, though, double kills do find their way on over to Tribe here on this Olaf.
And neither one of the junglers at this point picking up their blue buff, still going to be active and available for them to use whenever.
Turn gank.
Let's see if they can find something. Moonfall is going to get used by starting, but we've got guys in the area. Tigers is not level 5 yet. Ragnarok is not on the table. Yellow card getting used to stun him out, so the gank not going to result in a kill.
Oh, very good. I like the shadowing that we're seeing here through from Kaizu. Not quite the proactive play, but matching Tigers, which is one of the more dangerous parts of this game, especially in the early. I know they have already dropped 2 there, and I would like to see it stay at 2 at least for the next 3 to 5, so the gold can definitely equalize back out here, and we see Apes Together Strong find their way forward onto their scaling potential. For now, though, I feel like that's definitely within the realm. It's not too far-fetched. Kaizu keeps this one up, and it should look just as good. That Ragnarok window, though, will be absolutely crucial now in giving them the opportunity to run this one down.
Destiny is online. Could potentially see that being used. I want to see it used effectively here, but we haven't seen him use it just yet. Maybe waiting to get that Rod of Ages, which he's going back to, I'm assuming, to pick up now. Dragon spawning in about 30 seconds along with the Rift Herald. Now, last game, we saw Tribe Gaming prioritize the Rift Herald, gave first Drake over to Apes. It resulted in first Tower going over to Tribe, and that really started off that escalation of that snowball. What is Tribe's gaming strategy here as we move into the 4-minute mark?
They can either find or contest for both sides, but look at the vision that they already do have set up and available towards that dragon for when that comes through. The response, though, from Kaizo and Kuhn will probably push them away from this rift, and given that they have that advantage, I wouldn't be surprised to see them rotate down or potentially maybe look to take this fight. Good double bubble, though, from McKenna. Probably going to prevent that one, but still, Apes Together Strong. They pull off quite aggressively, know they're at that early game disadvantage, and can't quite pressure this one out yet.
Max Green gonna get pulled out, gonna get stunned, but will flash away. Will not have that available for this Rift Herald, which gets started again by Apes. We do get potentially the collapse coming through from Shock Dominus is going to get used. We've got the tidal wave going to land onto several members of Keno, going to be in trouble, going to flash away. It's going to be Tigers picking up the kill against Nam, and Max Green up against Kyun. It's going to be Kai's as well, trying to be able to get into the action. Max Green will fall into that one. He's going to have to flash away, but starting with the Lunar Rush, trying to be able to pick up that kill. The answer is yes, he's going to flash away. The Rift Herald will be taken, and it's a double kill for starting on the Diana.
Twisted Fate, though, making the rotation down to make sure that they are able to find a little bit of response back there from such a deep dive. The problem, though, a lot of that gold has found its way over now towards those major carries that are going to dive you constantly. Starting here now, accelerated forward. He does pick up the finishing for that rod and into the final for the boots here. Only able to pick up the amplifying tome. I'm curious to see what he will route that one forward towards in just a moment here, but either way, the additional gold in his pocket will allow him to become quite the monster now on this Diana.
Unfortunate for Apes Together Strong as the Rift Herald does get taken by Tribe. It will get spawned in the mid lane with the Dragon, potentially a target here for Tribe as the reward for being able to be the successful victors of that last fight. They will go directly towards it. I'm a little bit sad to see that we haven't seen a Destiny get pulled out yet. I'd like to see it get used. I thought it could have been used last fight. Now he's going to have available for this next one here.
I told you they always keep complete control, and we'll see if they're able to continue doing so. Hefty engage, but no steal. You are going to see Tigers fall, but a big Moonfall response from starting finds its way into a kill there. Little Poke comes back, going to force this fight to end maybe earlier than we would have hoped, but it definitely plays into Tribe's favor as they're going to convert that pressure from the reset into finding themselves a first turret.
So quick to be able to clear out those waves. Great use of the Dominus there by Chuck to be able to survive. Max Green will survive as well. So doesn't fall to that ace in the hole. Chuck is going to put in some damage against Nam, who's trying to be able to get away. Golden Dienzio, though, as he does get hit by the yellow card, will get hit by the bubble, but will also be able to get out of that one.
Finds his way out either way here. So Tribe, even with a push incoming down from a very strong siege composition, were able to defend and equalize. So they find Dragon, they get the mid lane turret, and overall find big success here. Now, a dive coming through there from Tigers. Gonna run this one down. Kuhn unable to get the axe off to find himself back into a pool of health. Kaizu going to try to punish this one for their heavy rotation. Remember, can't see Twisted Fate run up. He did utilize that Destiny in that last fight. Didn't quite get to see it.
We didn't get to see the Destiny, but you know what? He used it, and it's the thought that counts. I appreciate it for sure. What I'm now looking towards is Apes Together Strong being able to get Kaizu onto that 2-item power spike. Does have the Trinity Force, so is going to start doing some of that damage towards those towers. Could be that split pushing menace that we know Jax can be. I'm just waiting to see what the play is going to be from Apes Together Strong. Where are they going to be focusing their attention towards these objectives? Because right now, they need to start getting something on the board. Otherwise, this game will start to get out of control.
Oh, Counter-Strike not quite working out there. Going to give away Kaizu's position now, knowing that Tribe has complete access towards this bot lane, given that there's going to be no response from Kaizu. Wonder if they're going to make a play for the dive here. They do have that Solar Flare and Ragnarok available if they want to do so. Sadly, no wave to work with, and with mid crashing in there, you do have to spread this one out. So maybe a second more.
Yep. Oh, but we are getting the fight now. Ragnarok going to get used into the Solar Flare. The Tidal Wave is landing, but it doesn't matter. We get Destiny getting used. Twisted Fate is now in trouble as Chalk pops the dominance. Tiger survives Zephyr with less than 10 HP. That had to have been like less than 10 HP, but the fight is not done yet. Piercing Arrow is going to land on Akun, who has to come down here to try to defend this tower, but unable to. It's Tribe Gaming coming out on top.
Tribe Gaming, we talked about it. The dive was set up absolutely perfectly. Just had to wait for that next wave. Now, a response. Kaizu trying to find this Rift Herald, unable to do so. A nice steal from starting, playing off of that Moonfall engage there. So, Apes Together Strong landing with just about nothing here this entire game.
Man, disaster there. No way to get that Rift Herald. Smite not being used, starting with a beautiful play, and it just dropped the Rift Herald in the top lane. I mean, it's just a freebie right there, Zephyr. And now, Apes Together Strong, they are not even in the bags against the wall. They are on the floor. They are gasping for breath, trying to be able to stay alive in this one, because at this point, Tribe Gaming with a 7,000 gold lead.
And while, yes, this composition does scale here, you're losing out across the board into these lane-to-lane advantages. And I'm sorry to say it, the Diana doesn't fall off. The Varus doesn't fall off. They can be just as nasty the further this game goes on. The whole point of this composition was trying to weaken Tribe before they became the monsters that we currently see right now. Now 6-2 Tigers, 4-1 starting. They have all the potential in the world to run you down, find their way into your backline, and disrupt any potential you have to fight this one out here. And so Tribe, they can step up objectives. They can walk all the way forward onto the Dragon. They can even throw Max Green into the thick of things here.
Yeah, he's going to fall, but the Solar Flare is going to land on a 3. Nice tidal wave, nice chain of corruption. Dominus getting used, tons of damage. Starting is there, going to bring in the Moonfall. Twisted Fate will go in. It's a double kill for DNZO and for Tigers. It is a almost full ace there against Apes.
Sad thing about this, no Baron to work with just yet. Instead, they'll just have to compensate and find their way onto a cloud. Still, that's what I'm talking about. You no longer have any kind of presence into these team fights, especially since you're losing on all boards forward here now. So Tribe Gaming, they pick up that objective and they spread a little bit back in towards this Baron lane in the mid to try to push these waves in preparation for what will be probably their next fight towards the Baron side.
No hesitation. That is the name of the game from Tribe Gaming. Immediately, when they know that the fight is won, everyone moving towards the next objective. Is it pushing towards the waves? Is it getting a tower? Is it getting the Dragon or the Baron? You don't see them unconfident or, scared of going into a situation. They know where they need to go to be the most effective. And Tribe Gaming just continuing to keep up that pressure, keep up that power. And now 10,000 gold in the lead, 12 minutes into the game. Muramana has been activated for Dienzio. He's going to be dealing tons of damage. Chuck is dealing tons of damage. It's just damage all around for Tribe Gaming.
Try to find their way in there. Subtle little engage pushed out there from Chuck, but unable to completely capitalize. Can't just completely run it all the way down there. There still is plenty of CC, as we did see last time on Mac's screen. Did go down and was capitalized on for being too far forward there, but still, like you said, the tons of damage that come through in response for expending those windows are just as nasty. Tribe Gaming, I love that undertow there from Tiger. Hits all four, and in response with the piercing air, they're looking as low as it can get, already under their last turrets remaining here.
12 seconds remain until the Baron spawns, but that might not even be an objective that Tribe Gaming needs at this point. They are feeling so confident now in their position. They are picking up the tower in the bottom lane. They picked up the tower in the mid lane, and now things are looking dire for Apes Together Strong. We're seeing the pings towards the Baron, but I mean, when you're this behind, a Hail Mary might be the only option that you have.
The sad thing, they are, of course, spotted out. It is Max Green who gets the notion that they are here. Unable to stun them with the counterstrike. Max going to find his way back under turret. Chains of Corruption utilized in response to the quick kill. Picked up onto Kuhn. Now flash forward, starting, going deep. Double Moonfall found onto our Dragon Lane combo. Continuing to dash forward and pump this one out. Chuck finding his way into the back as well with that Dominus. Now 2 members down. Tribe continue the assault.
Yep, Lunar rushes here and there and everywhere. You cannot get away from this Diana. Starting is just too good and will continue to keep up. Doesn't pick up everybody, but he does force Nam, Kaizu, everyone back to base. No one's going to be able to stop this Baron getting taken. Tribe Gaming looking to finish the job here quickly.
And I agree with you. I respected Apes Together Strong. If they needed to last for just a little bit longer, maybe find their way into some better scaling, the Baron would do just that there. So they tried to pull the trigger there, but it wasn't in good taste with the reset that came through from Tribe. Nice Chains of Corruption going to be found immediately onto the Twist of Fate. Going to go into stasis here, but a quick stun and back end for Chuck. Make sure that they secure this kill.
And now we've got Baron spawn, Kaizu with 2 items, but it's not going to be enough. The tidal wave does land. Chuck will fall. Max Green goes in, but Tigers is looking to be able to keep him alive and will be able to do so. Meanwhile, bottom lane starting, going to be putting the pressure down once again. That split pushing power that Apes Together Strong is able to get, it will be able to continue to come through. You get to see us, though. We're not actually in Wild Rift, but we're here, and we are ready. Just an issue with the spectator, and now we're back. There it is.
Game's over.
Oh man,
we shouldn't have moved all the way from camera there. Tribe Gaming, they find success in what was an absolutely explosive team fight, and they move on to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, that had to have been just obliteration there from Tribe Gaming in that last team fight. Starting wasn't even involved. He just said, I'm going to be in the bottom lane. I'm just going to siege down this tower and get the Nexus open for you guys. And that is going to be it. Tribe Gaming, who were the favorites in this one, going to be able to take the 2-0 against Apes Together Strong. Rafa, you are safe from the consequences. It is going to be a victory here for the favorites here in this game.
Now they find their way forward to compete against someone that they saw very recently here, which we'll discuss plenty, but Sentinels. Now, they themselves have carried all the way through. We will remind you that they did face a forfeit out of their semifinals matchup. So technically haven't been tested to any rights today, and now going to be going up against the best of the best, potentially looking for some revenge.
Beautiful damage. Look at that damage from Dienzio and from Tigers.
Yep.
Both of them just putting in the work. And that's the power of Tribe Gaming, that synergy, that coordination that we've been talking about just coming in to play once again. Apes Together Strong, they put up a fight. They tried to make it happen, and I respect the opportunity. I respect them being able to get the semifinals. It's an honor and it is a challenge to be able to go up against against Tribe Gaming. The chance to be able to do that, the wisdom and the experience that you get is so crucial and so valuable. But unfortunately, your tournament run in the last chance qualifier is now done. Let's take a look at the bracket real quick before we get into our grand finals matchup, kind of see how we got here, Zephyr. It's Sentinels versus Tribe.
Sentinels versus Tribe Gaming. Like I said, we'll discuss it in just a moment regarding some of the history that these two teams had, whether it be back through all the way into our Summoner Series, or even as recently as some of these weekly competitions coming from the back end of Horizon Cup. And I'll tell you what, it's definitely going to be a bit more of a test for Tribe Gaming, but I don't know. I'm definitely a bit more privy and biased towards this squad.
Well, the final exam is about to be underway. We're going to take a short break before we jump into it. Tribe Gaming versus Sentinels will be our grand finals matchup, and we'll be right back with it before you know it. What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers. Don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. Don't care what the others say. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. We come alive. We come alive. What's your weakness? What's your type? Somehow I wanna know all about you. Deep connection lights a spark. You already know me when we dance in the dark. We're dreamers. We're living like this could be our final day. We're dreamers. We're doing this in our way. We come alive in the nighttime. It's something about how we dance in the moonlight. That look in your eyes, it tells me that you want me and all my loving. We come alive in the nighttime. You and I, we come alive. Oh, we come alive. Welcome back, everybody. League of Legends Wild Rift, RiftMasters Last Chance Qualifier. Moose here, joined by Zephyr. We are ready to get into our grand finals matchup between Tribe Gaming and Sentinels.
All right, and I finally can chat all I want about it. Remember, before we even discuss, though, this is the final game available here in our Rift Masters regular season. Whoever wins this one will find their way on forward. But still, Sentinels, Tribe Gaming, two teams tested by time themselves, as well as the matchup that they've played over and over against one another here. Most notably, 5 days ago, we saw these two teams compete at Team Liquid's weekly number 9 showdown. It ended in a 2-0 dramatically here for Tribe Gaming, to the fact that even out of their first game, they weren't even able to pick up a single kill in response, pretty much.
Well, you know, a single kill, that's 0 kills for Sentinels in one of those games. So Tribe Gaming trying to be able to keep up with that continuous success.
Can they keep it up?
Do
they find similar momentum?
Do they make it happen? I assume so. I think Zephyr's pretty confident in Tribe Gaming's consistency here. They played really well against Apes Together Strong in our last series that we just casted. Zephyr, Sentinels, this is their first shown games of today's bracket, since they did get here via an FF. But enough of that. Sentinels is now ready to go. They're picking up the Diana, they're picking up the Riven. We've seen this show before, Sentinels, and the Garen going to be picked up, Zephyr. So a little bit of deja vu from game number 1 last series.
All right. And it gives them the potential to run this one down here. If I can give props to someone here on the Sentinels roster, it definitely has to be Mally. Albeit it was a 2-0 in the second game that they did play out against Tribe. What was Mally's control in the mid game definitely mitigated and slowed down the win that eventually did come through here. Now being on the Diana, having maybe a little bit more agency to work with in the mid lane, could spell for disaster. We still have to see what the response looks to be here from starting. I don't know, is that... It could be Gal, but it should be a rotation down towards bot. Galio's support on max screen is definitely one of the options.
It's called good. It is good. I agree with you there. And Senna Galio should be just fine to go up against pretty much any bottom lane that Sentinels tries to draft. So take away some of the more high priority targets. Take away the Caitlyn. The Varus is already off the table. So those are your two major factors that could potentially put in some problems there. Maybe we get to see a support ban here, because we do have the bottom lane for Sentinels still, or the Dragon lane from Sentinels still ready to go. Mid lane, Baron lane, still online for Tribe Gaming. Maybe even the mid lane as well, or the support role if Galio does decide to go for a mid lane shenanigans here. Tribe Gaming does like to shake things up every now and again, but you know, there's opportunities for a lot of shenanigans still, just to fake getting taken away from Sentinels.
I will say I do want that Galio to find its way towards the support. I think Tribe performs very well when you put starting on something that has a lot of agency here. And in response, that Diana, I don't think the Galio, you obviously can make rotations, say with that heroic entrance, and find your way in your lanes, but there's plenty of other champions that can put just as much of a proactive foot forward here.
Sure.
In response, we did see the Garen find its way top, but still can work in that supportive lane for Sentinels if they want to throw it down there. As a result, though, Tribe says otherwise. They throw the brand ban out there. They don't want that one coming in anytime soon. I believe we did see the brand play out here from Sentinels in their first game against Tribe at the weekly here from Team Liquid a few days ago.
Yeah, so
Didn't
targeted
work.
ban there. But you know, they still respected it. They respected
Right.
it. And so it is going to be that last ban. Darius is going to get taken away. So don't want that available. But Chuck does still have other options. We saw him play really well against the Renekton. Or with the Renekton, I mean, the Camille is off the table. So Renekton would be kind of, I think, a pretty solid choice pickup here for Tribe Gaming. Fiora, maybe, yeah. I mean, they could go for that if they wanted to be a little bit more spicy. But Dr. Mundo, hey, you know what? We go where we please, and Dr. Mundo is going to be the pickup.
Putting one heck of a front here, and if that Garen finds his way up towards the top, it will definitely be punished out, given the constant sorts of poke and damage that come through that Mundo, and he will never, ever be taken down, given the ability to heal through just about darn anything here. Either way, though, it does leave what will supposedly be available for those counter picks. The fact that they don't warrant where that Galio still is going can give them the flexibility to choose what they want. Instead, though, they are going to round out that Corki finding its way into the Dragon Lane for rest here. Now, definitely puts this on a bit of a different pacing. A little bit later for Sentinels, don't have quite that dominant level of control that we saw from, say, Ape Together when they tried to run this composition, but still, it gives them more win conditions to work with. They have time on the board here. If you don't find everything that you want or a massive lead, say on Mali on this Dyna, you still can rely on the fact that that Corki will become a problem that splits these fights up or pokes them out before they even begin.
That's what I'm really looking for. The utility that it's going to be able to provide, the Gragas as well. So split up the team composition from Tribe Gaming, make it difficult for everyone to stay together and pick off the stragglers that are not going to be able to get away from it. I like the idea of being able to go for the Moonfall into the explosive cask. It just disrupts everything that a team can go for, but you're facing off against Tribe Gaming. They've dealt with this before. They know, and they've played this before. It says, I know what the strengths are. They know what they're looking towards coming into this one. And they're going to pick up an Akali as the last pick. So highly mobile coming through for Tribe Gaming. You got the Ragnarok going to be able to get away from some of the CC. The Akali is going to be able to just move around the fight to be able to potentially deny any of that damage. And Mundo and Galio, I mean, they're just going to take it on the chin and be just fine.
Right. And I know we talk about a lot of the AP mage support that we've been seeing out of starting, but he does come from a background of very strong control with those assassins just as well. Great. Yeah. It's AP too. What am I talking about? Either way, the whole idea is the dueling potential there in the mid definitely plays into Tribe's favor, but I don't know if I would completely hand it over just yet. I think starting is in definitely good control coming into this matchup, given it does find greater potential in terms of the 1v1 here, but Mali is no slouch either. It is one of the stopping factors that was provided from Sentinels, and if they do find potential rotations from the Riven in early, which I would be doomed for to expect, that could potentially work out in the favor. But don't get me wrong, Tribe's going to spot that one out. Tribe's going to level control in the lane. They're going to find out, just like we saw from Apes in our last series.
Yeah, they know what's up. They've got the playbook in their hands. They know what the idea is. It's now based on execution. And when it comes to flawless execution, despite the Akali being there, who's always going to have perfect execution, Tribe Gaming is one of those teams that just knows where and when to be at the right spot and has continued to show us that they do have the map control and the awareness necessary to come through. So I'm expecting Sentinels, if they want to be able to win this game, they've got to be able to find a mix-up somewhere, find something that Tribe Gaming hasn't necessarily seen yet to get them off of this sort of bread and butter early game that Tribe Gaming has built up. They're so in control of these lanes, regardless of what champions they pick up. And now Sentinel's gonna have to really show us what they can do here. This is their one last chance for Tribe Gaming and for Sentinels to be able to get out of the last chance qualifier and get into the playoffs this weekend. So there's a lot riding on this matchup.
Right, and I like this one too because it continues to go and prove that Tribe is the best of the best here. But to go back towards this composition, not to just leave this one out in the dust all the way here, if there was one potential advantage for Sentinels to work with, it does look like the Tribe Gaming damage is definitely very single target, or at least on the front of just kind of one person at a time. Now, they mitigate this by having the ability to dive, split fights up, and then single out those who are definitely more of a priority here. If Sentinels, of course, are able to survive and find at least some level of lead or prevent what is the lead from occurring on champions like the Akali or like the Olaf, right? Tribe Gaming's damage is not as potent here as Sentinels. That Corki, that Diana, the Gragas, they all keep an absolute zone of damage that can expend a little bit more leniently than, say, something that Tribe has to work with.
Yeah, a ton of control and a ton of options to be able to win the game through when it comes to the Sentinels. When it comes to Tribe Gaming, if the Olaf gets fed, great. If the Akali gets fed, even better. Awesome. If the Mundo gets fed,
I like it still.
I mean, I like it because I like anything that Tribe Gaming does, but I'd like it less. I like it less. And if Galio somehow gets fed, well, you know, something's
And we're just
going
making
on.
jokes here on desk.
Yeah, I mean, we're just having some fun play. I mean, I'd love to see my great AP Galio come through, see that heroic entrance come in for that just really strong, sort of unstoppable force that he can build up, that like AoE unstoppable force knockup that just deals half of your HP. It'll be phenomenally fun if that ends up being the case. I highly doubt it, though. My predictions have been 0 for infinity in Wild Rift when it comes to Tribe Gaming's setup so far, so I expect it to still be pretty fun there. What I do want to see out of Sentinels is Grievous Wounds. I want to see Grievous Wounds get picked up by somebody here. You've got healing potential from the Dr. Mundo. You've got healing from the Olaf, from the Senna. You've got just so much potential to be able to sustain in these fights. I want to see them pick up that Grievous Wounds. I want to see them have that presence of mind. If they don't, it could be very difficult, but there's other strategies that are available to them.
Either way here, Tribe Gaming versus Sentinels, a matchup that we have seen prior to several times over, and potentially revenge here on the board for Sentinels, trying to make up for what they lost here recently in the Team Liquid Weekend. Trust me, I don't want to see them go down without a fight. I don't want some massive kill game, a stomp in the favor of Tribe. I need to see something similar to what their game 2 looked like. They're definitely more middling. This time around, though, I like this. They've got presence here from Sentinels. MTS going to spend some time here in the mid to give them the extra advantage over the way of the sets. What they do with it, they're going to get no information. They're not going to get anything from that.
Well, Tiger's mixing it up a little bit.
No, my apologies. They know that the Olaf does not start the red, right? But there's too many opportunities for where he could have been in presence.
Yeah, and so Tigers, I mean, mixing it up here. He picks up the Krugs first, so it's a full clear top side here for Tigers. Means that he's going to be a little bit later to a party potentially, but, you know, expecting his lanes to be just fine. I think the Garen's going to be okay. Diana should be okay against starting until he gets level 5. Or I'm sorry, starting should be okay against Mally until he get level 5. And then D'Enzio, Max Green, they've got healing, they've got shields, they've got opportunities. Sheesh, however, he's wanting to get into the party, so we could see some mid-game or some mid-lane shenanigans here in just a bit.
Well, they definitely meet toe-to-toe here. It's that standard matchup into the mid, jungle v each other here, and I don't think anything will be too prevalent coming out of the poke, though. Plays into the favor here of the Sentinels. We didn't quite get to see it, but they found success here. Now, a heavy rotation, maybe finding beginnings out of place there. He's, of course, able to dash out of that wall, but it gives them the priority that they need to make sure the scuttle is in the hands of Tigers.
Yeah, so far, very even start. This is Sentinels showing us why they've been able to make it to Grand Finals. The early game map control is super important, and being able to stay consistent with Tribe is definitely good. The longer that you can stay even with Tribe Gaming, the better that your odds are that you're able to get to a mid-game situation where you can actually take even fights against them. I'm just waiting to see where Tribe Gaming is able to potentially surge ahead here.
Well, for now, don't know where that might be. Starting here, taking some dangerous trades. We got that Moon's Poke coming through there. Remember, they both have the available barrier to utilize once this fight dives deep, but it's Mally to find the Moonfall here to work with. Starting does find it, though, eventually. It was a split second. It was, you know,
That could have happened somewhere. There was always the opportunity.
Wave was not in good position, no.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, the attempt was there. There was a thought, but probably.
Now, I like it, though. Sentinels paying definitely some good respect to a team that can easily accelerate some early control here very, very quickly. We take a look down towards this bot lane. We get it. Test further, hold the thought. Ragnarok pulled through there. Tigers trying to find the dive. They do get the flash off of Mally, which maybe not so impressive when you remember that they have the ability to dash when it comes to finding those engages, but the escape no longer being available means that you're going to have the repeat come through here probably from Tigers.
Well, Tigers is now in control of, or at least in the lead against Sheesh right now as the Riven. He's been able to get a clear out on the chickens, picking up the red now as well. So he's going to be in a little bit of an experience advantage against Sheesh for the time being, especially since the Riven is going towards the top side here, maybe looking for a gank against Chuck before the Rift Herald spawns. We've seen Rift Herald get used so effectively by both of these teams here in the tournament so far. So being able to maybe get that control in the top lane could be the play here for Sentinels.
Thankfully, though, Tribe Gaming, they definitely take advantage of the fact that this composition plays a little bit earlier in terms of the control it assumes in these lanes, and you do start seeing a bit of a diversion towards the gold. Granted, 1,000 isn't quite much, but it definitely proves why Tribe has the success that they do. It's those little micro moments that allow them to find themselves, 600 to 5 to 200, gold up ahead of the enemy on an item back or something.
Yeah, and with that, Tigers was there. He was able to pick up all of his camps. He's ahead in experience, and he was able to stop the Rift Herald from getting pretty much started by Sheesh as well. So really strong play, again, from Tribe Gaming. Rest and Beginnings now making their way up to the mid lane because they, of course, know they want this Rift Herald. Now the fight from Tribe Gaming, the decision here, maybe looking to go in for this fight at the Rift Herald.
They don't quite have starting. He is making heavy rotation up there, but the fight more likely will begin without him. Chunk on this backside, continuing to poke this one out with the Cleaver's Veil as this Rift continues to tick down.
All right, 1,600 HP. The fight is now begin. A beautiful taunt coming through from Max Green. Going to be able to disrupt the offensive power. The Dawning Shadow is going to get both Sheesh and MTS really low. First Blood does go towards Rest, however. Maliwu now in trouble, going to get rooted. Dienzio able to get away into the shadows. Double kill for Rest as he does take down Tigers. Will fall, but starting able to take down take down Maliwu. Means that Tribe Gaming gets the kill advantage. Rift Herald also goes towards Tribe Gaming.
Well, they come up big here overall, but I do want to give some credit over to Sentinels. They did a very nice job of splitting that fight apart, which gave the opportunity for Rest to come in there and pick up a little bit of a lead of his own. And of all the people to find success here on Sentinels that I wouldn't want forward, it is that Corki, because it never slows down. Once you are in the position to poke this one out, come towards those mid to late fights, it is absolutely just dangerous. We'll just say that.
Dangerous is an understatement. It is terrifying, right. A Corki in the lead, especially once he's able to effectively use that package. Cloud Drake is up, but hasn't been started by either team. But it does look like the rotation of MTS is going to be a little bit earlier than Chuck. So maybe a slight chance for something here. But starting being able to get the kill against Sheesh. That jungler is going to be down for 16 seconds. It's a double kill screen as Maliwu also falls.
So technically, a little bit of lead back into Tribe's pocket here. They haven't quite started the dragon just yet, but they do have the jungler advantage to make this one work for themselves. Obviously, I don't want to see Sentinels take this fight, but they still persist around the area.
Yeah, Max Green making a little bit of kiting there. No real chance to be able to stop that dragon from being taken.
No chance.
And Tribe Gaming going to pick up the first dragon of the game. That's the first two neutral objectives going towards Tribe. And now, well, it isn't necessarily, this is game over situation. The fact that Tribe Gaming was able to get those first two neutral objectives just means that their lead is going to be continuously growing. Rift Herald is still available, so I'm definitely nervous right now for Sentinels.
And we've yet to see the Rift technically utilized there from Tiger. Hasn't chosen which lane he wants to flow and throttle that gold into here. If it was any, I'd like to see it continually into the pocket of starting, as you already see him on that rotation towards the top side there. The Crash could easily come through and find successful breakage there of our first turret here. Instead, though, constantly laying down pressure.
Right now, MTS in trouble, spinning to win, but will he get the kill?
Demacian.
Yes, he does. Starting will fall, but it is a 1-for-1 play, and the Rift Arrow gets used. There is no one there to stop him, so that should be first brick going towards Tribe Gaming as well. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, beginning Sheesh and Rest, trying to be able to do what they can, but they've not been able to do much. Dienzio and Max Green keeping their distance.
Right, and it's not even just that. It's a very tough composition, or at least those two down there in that dragon lane that, of course, rotate up is very difficult to find your way into. You have such a heavy presence of dive between beginnings and Sheesh, and if they find their way forward, guess what? You're taunted out, you're under turret, and you have no further damage to work with there. Now, I will say, Rest in a great position, has that Essence Reaver, and much more on top of that to potentially find successful damage if they want to poke that one out, but obviously it didn't come through because you have to play towards the respect there. For now though, Tribe, they continue their assault, find their way towards the bot lane, but Sentinels though, looking potentially for the response. They've rotated everyone out here towards the dragon lane.
Man, and I want to talk about just the capitalization that Tribe Gaming is able to get out of that Rift Herald. Not only was Tigers able to get the first tower of the game, but he was also able to get the second headbutt as well with it, which is, you know, it doesn't seem like a big deal. He does still get it, though. Beginning's in trouble. Donnie Shadows, that's going to be one dead Gragas. He'll head back to Fountain, just getting obliterated there.
A very heavy split from the Sentinels roster there. It looked like they didn't know kind of what they wanted to do in terms of that engage, and as a result, especially for Sheesh there and Beginnings, they were nowhere close to one another. And the problem with this one now is it's, of course, easy for Tribe Gaming to rotate up, find this next objective, and continue to bolster their lead here, picking this one up as well. Now, they have made little bit of rotations, pulled everyone up there from the dragon lane into the mid here, and actually won't expend the rift immediately.
Yeah, but they want this fight. They want to take the Rift Herald, and they want to be able to continue to keep up the momentum. Valkyrie is down. MTS is in the area, but the Rift Herald is going to get used. The root is going to land onto MTS. He is now in trouble. The taunt from Max Green into the heroic entrance. Tigers will fall, but the fight is not over. MTS will get out of it, but it is a 1-for-1 play. Going to end up being Dragon up in 30. So Tribe Gaming get what they want.
Now, they don't have the jungler to work with here, so potential setup is available for Sentinels if they run this one down and play around Sheesh here. But going back to that fight, got to give major props to the taunt that was found there. Max Green's control of that one as a whole disrupted what was supposed to be a massive quad moonfall there from Mali, and instead resulted in his death. So, finding that level of control, continuing to enact his venge upon the Sentinels roster and put them now what is 7,000, I can do math, I promise, 7,000 gold here ahead of the margin.
Can you do math though? That's an 8,000 gold lead at this point, Zephyr. You know,
no, it's Scheiße, you're right.
Anyway, speaking of math, we've got an almost 3,000, almost 4,000 gold lead right now for starting on this Akali that's just going to continue to grow as Mali Uwu falls once again. 0-4-2. Gotta be careful because starting is now in a big lead. Rabadon's Death Cap haunting guys. Lichbane, he's got the kitchen sink stocked up and ready to go to build up a big arsenal here as the Infernal Dragon gets taken easily by Tribe as well.
Continuing to pick up just about everything here across the board. Gold leads extended in every lane except for that Corki, but only 500 ahead, something you would see usually within those first moments of this game here. Now Baron just about to be up, probably the next point of contention between these two teams here. Notably, the pickup on both of these backs, DNZO and starting, finding their way onto the Zhonya, so the stasis available going to disrupt a lot of the extra burst and potential that you see from Sentinels when they run these fights down.
Well, so starting got the earlier back, or at least is in a better position with the Baron now spawning in about 30 seconds. They're pushing towards the wave, and that means the Sentinels are going to have to be responding to it. So immediately Sentinels on the back burner when it comes to trying to be able to get Baron or to contest a Baron play. We got Mali Uwu in the bottom lane trying to be able to stop the push from Chuck. Will have the ability to use any sort of damage there. It's not going to do much against the Dr. Mundo, unfortunately. You're just going to be able to heal it back up. And it's talking a little bit about earlier options here that Tribe Gaming has. Oh, whoa, we got to fight.
Maybe, but a great displacement there provided from Beginnings is going to dissuade any further pressure there. The wave was not in the best spot. You definitely had the cannon to work with there as Tigers tried to find his way in with the Ragnarok. Still though, it is going to only be the one ultimate there, and that expended for 2 in response from Sentinel. So technically a Windows advantage, albeit something small.
You know, take any advantage that you can get, of course. Tribe Gaming, though, 10,000 gold in the lead now. Chuck in trouble, but he has enough health. He has enough resistances to be able to pretty much take anything that Sentinels throws at him. 1-0 and 1. Sunfire, Aegis, and the Spirit Visage ready to go. He's going to be healing up just fine. And I was talking about how important Grievous's wounds might be. We've only got 1 Grievous wounds item, it looks like, coming out of Sheesh.
There we go.
There's the second one. There it is. They needed it.
Yeah, definitely something that holds presence here coming into these fights. I will say Tribe's damage definitely doesn't put them at the foot where they're sitting there having to kind of heal up in the midst of all this. It's very bursty, and you end up dying before you even get the chance to respond there. Sheesh kind of being that target. Fight to continue here. Big heroic entrance finds the knockup as we do see beginnings fall. They continue their assaults as MTS just can't quite spin away, and instead catches his own teammate out with a root there. Stasis down, rest forced to flash. DNZO is targeted for potential dive from Mally, but with 2 being down and everyone looking good here from Tribe, they're going to walk their way forward on that Baron.
Yeah, nothing you can do there. Baron's going to get taken by Tribe Gaming at the beginning of the end. 13,000 gold, almost 13,000 gold in the lead, 12,000 gold at the moment, now 13k. It's not looking good. Starting just chunking down the towers with that Lich Bane as well. I'm nervous for Sentinels because, this isn't going to be a flawless victory from Tribe Gaming. I mean, this is dominant.
It may not be their complete and utter control where they saw their win almost with a full perfect game here in the Team Liquid Weekly, but still this can be just as good here. For now though, starting though, maybe a little bit too far forward. A nice response from Sentinels will put them 1 member up, but quickly Tribe Gaming are on the rotation.
Yeah, Rest trying to be able to do what they can, but another beautiful root from Dienzio is going to mean a double kill. The package is going to be used. A double kill for Tigers as he continues to keep it going. There's another kill as we get Dienzio picking up a double kill and a triple kill for Tigers. That ought to do it, Zephyr, as game number 1 goes towards Tribe Gaming.
Tribe Gaming here finding success in the first match of our finals, and to be honest, if you told me I should be surprised, I'm kinda not, okay? These guys looked absolutely unstoppable through and through there, right? I mean, at no point was there ever a successful fight taken for Sentinels that didn't come up short in some way. Yeah, they might pick up a kill here or there, but there was always some level of control that Tribe also built off on top of that. Now, this I find maybe a little bit of a surprise. Tigers being the notable carry to lead the pack here for Tribe.
That is a quintuple times damage against Sheesh. 25,000 to 5k from Sheesh. Absolutely dominant in the jungle, and that is exactly what you expect to see out of Tigers. He's so strong no matter what champion you put him on. If it's an early game champion like the Xin Zhao, if it's a diving champion, if it's a farming champion, he somehow is able to just take control of the jungle and make everything go towards the way of Tribe Gaming. And unfortunately for Sentinels, they just were never able to find that positive outcome that they wanted. Yes, they got that double kill on Rest early, but even then, that was a 3-2 battle that's win into Tribe Gaming's favor, and they just never let off the gas at that point, and never really gave Sentinels any window.
And if I had to say something that would definitely need to change, it has to be towards that jungle. Sheesh there had no level of control, and yes, we can give all the praise to the world towards Tiger there, but the Riven is something that you really need to pull off on an aggressive sense of duty, right? You can't be fumbling the ball there to make that champ work, and if you are, you might as well play something that has much more ease of access when it comes into making impact towards these lanes. There's plenty of other options that can actually find dive potential in and make good use of it there without having to be just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and decisiveness as well. Tribe Gaming once again showing us their really great map control and presence throughout the game. That's the one thing that Sentinels really kind of lacked there, is that decisiveness when they wanted to go for something. You never felt like they were confident in the decisions that they were trying to make. They were always just one step behind, and that's going to kill you in a game like Wild Rift. And Tribe Gaming knows it firsthand how important it is to be in control. So, for now, Tribe Gaming is going to take game number 1. They're looking to make it a clean sweep and get into the playoffs this weekend. We're going to take a quick break before we jump into game number 2. So stick with us, and we'll be right back before you know it.
She couldn't quite figure out what feels all
right, everybody, welcome back to potentially our last game of the Last Chance Qualifier. Tribe Gaming looking dominant against Sentinels in Game 1, Zephyr.
Yeah, absolutely. Leveled a complete utterance of control here across the map. Big props to Tigers there on that Olaf, performing much better than either of us expected, especially as we took a lot at those final damage charges. And you said it yourself, almost quintuple the amount towards his counterpart there, Sheesh, in response from the Sentinels.
And so, while Tribe Gaming did take game number 1, and it was pretty one-sided, we could say, there were glimmers of hope. It wasn't, glitter. It wasn't like, there was just all of this opportunity that Sentinel was able to get, but there were chances. Glitter, glisten, and shine, Zephyr. They do have glimmers
I'm waiting
of hope.
for the chances.
Well, I mean, Rest was able to get going early on. We saw Beginnings actually have some really nice casks throughout the battle, just wasn't able to get into a decent position to capitalize on them. MTS was staying alive through a lot of the damage that was coming in, and so, I mean, there were chances, there were glimmers, but it wasn't like, I'm gonna say that I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It wasn't like there was like major chances. It was, 1 out of 10 or something like that. 1 out of 10 chances.
10% is not a large number there, Moose. I don't know how I feel about those chances. Those aren't betting numbers. That's what we say down here. But either way, finding our way into draft here. Some consistency among the bands. Notably, picks that we have seen now taken off the board here. The Garen thrown out of this one. Maybe, I guess, too much of a presence there, being a bit too tanky to deal with. Even still, they managed either way. But it's off the board. Caitlyn, though, picked up in response for Sentinels, throwing it immediately into that bot lane, trying to level with the poke. Remember, Varus not being on the board means there isn't the direct counter to that one being available.
Yeah, and so picking that up, I mean, that was immediate. I think that is almost intentional from Tribe because they ban out the Garen. They want to see what they're able to do with it. The Senna and the Olaf getting picked up as the response to it. I don't think that there's really any explanation given or needed for that. Thresh is going to get picked up for Sentinels, though. I like the pairing between Caitlyn and Thresh, and so I'm excited to see what that is going to bring to the table here. And Jace is coming through. Like to see the hammer being dropped. Should be a fun top Baron, maybe mid lane pickup. But Diana once again being shown for Tribe.
Yeah, so Tribe running it back exactly same. If it ain't broke, there's no reason to fix it here. Sentinels, though, instead, they've got some nice peel to give them some time to work with for some of these major carries, but most notably, that Jace has got to pop off, baby. Find his way towards success here. Now, I have to do this because he's supposed to be here, but if Rafa was on desk, he would simply whisper into your ears and say, guys, I've been talking to these players behind the scenes, and let me tell you what's crazy. Throw that Jace into the jungle. I'm telling you, it's got the melee damage. It's got the potential. Give that one over to Sheesh. Now, this is Zephyr talking. I would not like to see that as much as it's funny as it might be.
Well, anything is possible. Kim possible. Anything is possible. Whether or not Jace does go into the jungle, whether or not he goes to the Baron lane, whether or not he's super spicy and goes maybe into the mid lane, I would have liked to have seen the Jace maybe getting picked up last pick. I think you're really...
throw the counter way too early.
You're really setting yourself up for getting countered. You're setting yourself up for potentially disaster here because we haven't seen Jace all tournament, and now you pick him up third pick. Like, now you have to build around that.
I mean, that's true, but they have built around it. This is a very good siege poke comp to work with both Caitlyn and Jace. I mean, they themselves, the reason they're added for that entirely here. So that's something to work with. They lack a dedicated front to kind of purposely push away what is Tribe's dive right now, so that needs to come out, or some hefty CC to dissuade that as well. Granted, Ragnarok, but you get what I'm saying here. So those two major picks not being available, and not many opportunities to get a response, given that obviously we're looking for a mid pick here from Sentinels, but jungle as well. You're going to have that front find its appearance towards Sheesh here, which I don't know.
Well, we got a complimentary pairing coming through from Tribe. We've seen it before. We're going to see it again. Gragas and Diana coming up, showing us what we've got. So it's going to be a Gragas Senna in the Dragon lane, Diana in the mid lane, Olaf in the jungle, which does mean that we get the final pickup here from Tribe Gaming. I mean, there's a lot of options that are still available here. What do you pick up against the Jace to potentially counter that?
What do you pick up against the Jace or for the Jace to work with here? I'm still.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And I was asking if your Tribe, like, what are your go-to pickups here in top lane against the Jace?
Plenty of options available here. Granted, some of your more notable picks are off the board, like that Camille and Renekton, but if you do want to run this into more of a scaling, kind of run it down composition when you work with, say, something like that Fior, that's still something that holds a lot of presence up there. If you're taking maybe a little bit more toe-to-toe, there's some heftier option in terms of tanks that will dissuade a lot of the pressure that comes out of this Jace here, but I've never seen Chuck be one to slouch away from a competition, so things like the Darius are still available. We saw him pull it off last time here against MTS, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does pick it out again. But if he wants to play a little bit more weak side, there's plenty of damage on the board to work with here from Tribe, so it isn't completely necessary. Sentinels, though, they are going to round out that composition. They throw that Corki in the mid lane to give them a little bit more of the magic damage that they need to find penetration into this comp. And while Nunu is definitely that front I was looking for, he's more than just that. He's the CC that will enable this composition to stay alive in the best of all of that rundown that Tribe has right now.
Killing two birds with one snowball, Sentinels is with this Nunu. The Dr. Mundo is going to be the decision here, and we saw it work out really well for Tribe Gaming last game. We expect the same level of performance to come through from Chuck once again. So a couple of spicy options here. I'm very excited to see what the Nunu and the Jace are going to bring to the table. Beginnings on the Thresh can be a huge playmaking opportunity that we've seen be used by several teams, not only in the Last Chance Qualifier, but just in the RiftMSTRS series in general. So there's always that X factor that's there. And you talked about how dominant the Corki and the Caitlyn are both going to be. Now Tribe Gaming.
Focus insane.
Going to be fun, though. I'm excited to see what Tribe Gaming is going to do with the Moonfall, with the Roots. We saw the Roots be very good from DNZO in Game 1. He's going to be having a field day being able to see these big targets here. And if Sentinels isn't careful, we could see really big lockdown being picked up because of it.
All right. I will say my eyes are going to be on Sheesh here. Overall, you have something very similar working out for Sentinels across the board in these other lanes, but you give a little bit more presence in terms of what engage potential you have here on Sheesh this time. He's no longer on that Riven. He doesn't have to perform to the absolute, utmost degree and run this one down as a carry in his own right here, even though Riven is obviously completely strong. So having a little bit more of an opportunity to work with the jungle this time around, maybe putting carries like Mally here on that Corki in a much better position. And this is very similar to how we saw Sentinels get a little bit of a return out of their second game when we talk about this week's recent Team Liquid Weekly. My apologies.
For sure. And so now game number 2 is underway. Will Sheesh be able to find a creative option to be able to rebound after game number 1? That is the eyes that Zephyr has here. But everyone expected to perform well here for Sentinels. This is their maybe last chance to be able to get a win off a Tribe and potentially make this into the playoffs. If not, Tribe Gaming going to take that last spot in the playoffs this weekend. We're going to see how it plays out.
For now, everything looking substandard, pretty normal here. No expended information except for a nice ward going to be presenting itself towards that blue side here for Tribe when you might see the rotation come through from Nunu here. Other than that, consistent poke across the board in all of these lanes here. I don't think we might see very kills early, but beginnings with a good death sentence says otherwise. But like you said, nice roots from DNZO. Gonna make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yep, just trying to make sure that Max Green does not fall. Barrier was expended in that play, so, a favored matchup there. We get another nice pairing in the mid lane, starting in Tigers, facing off against Sheech and Mally. No one's going to go for any major fights just yet, but, everyone doing those rotations, looking to be able to go to their sides of the rift. Tigers actually maybe looking to go up against him here. in this at the Scuttle Crab Zephyr. Got Chuck getting into the mix as well.
And they're going pretty deep here. The pinch is available. They're going to force the flash out of Sheesh, but MTS is quick to be on the response here. They're going to turn their attention straight back onto MTS. Double flash. They're unable to find his way towards that honey front. Chunk doing a great job to be that frontline carry. And DNZO actually making rotation all the way up as well here. They find a successful kill and level out the control on this Scuttle here for Tigers.
Yeah, beautiful play. I mean, they knew that Sheesh was going towards the top side. There was no denying that. And Tigers just being able to get him off of that Scuttle Crab. Chuck in great lane control, making sure that he was able to get there in time. Yes, MTS does fall, and that means that Tribe Game is going to be able to get the double Scuttle start here in game number 2. About as good as you can go for your jungler. Another nice death sentence from beginnings, though. It's going to be Max Green in trouble.
Heal.
Oh my goodness. Barely surviving.
So close, though, but those are some massive summoners now no longer in play. Starling, though, going to make use of the positioning, unable to find the Moonfall that he wants, but blows the flash there of rest as well as that exhaust. So summoners for summoners do come through there. It is off the back end playing through on Tribe's mistake, but at least it is short up. So got to give heavy props to Starling, playing to put his team on at least better footing.
Yeah, and so now I want to talk about Mali Uwu there. Just looking at what, he was doing during Starting's rotation down bot side. They knew that there was no way that Starting was going to be in mid lane. He just showed bottom lane. He goes towards the river and doesn't really get any information out of it. And I've been talking about it all day, about the importance of being able to do those micro movements really effectively, having that decisive nature. I want to see them maybe clean that up a little bit later or throughout this game, but for now we're getting a lane swap. Beginnings and Rest could be facing off against Chuck here at top side.
For now, I don't think they have quite the dive potential that they would really want, given that Chuck will be able to find successful heals through all this. But Starting, he is in his own source of trouble here. Absolute Zero able to pump out the necessary burst to find the death there onto this Diana. Unable to rotate quick enough out of that lane there. And hey, there you go. Sheesh making good use of the Nunu this time around, actually finding some impacts through the jungle.
Nice. And it does make this potential Rift Herald potentially be a little scary here. Unfortunately for Sentinels, though, this is just getting demolished. Shelly is not having a good time and will end up being Tribe Gaming, picking up that Rift Herald. Pretty much, I mean, well, Starting does fall. It's a disjointed play there. I think that was pretty free.
No, it was absolutely free here. And the problem is Sentinels have no source of response to anything that Tribe's thrown out. And they're going to lose first turret as well here, given they also reset off the back end. Now beginning stepping in with the play, going to be punished out. Big flash forward, even in the face of exhaust, still finds the kill. The burn from that Valkyrie going to tick what is the last remnants of Tigers down there.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I think, advantageous situation for Maliuwu. Just got the right angle on that packaged Valkyrie to be able to get the kill on 2 Tigers. Makes it a 1-for-1 play, but the tower does fall. First brick going to go towards Tribe Gaming, and the gold lead now starting to grow.
Yeah, definitely finding success on keeping control over these objectives. Didn't get to quite talk about it, but Sentinels unable to match too. You don't get to see the handshake that is very prevalent here in these Wild Rift games, and it's due to a lot of the control you see from the vision and how Tribe Gaming can win these fights without full rotations from all 5. As a result, they're able to expend someone to kind of defend against whenever someone steps up to potentially look for those targeted picks in getting something, say, like that dragon. Now, with all that time passing, all the resets playing towards their favor, they're quickly able to step up and pick Cloud as well.
Yeah, Death's Dance along with the Righteous Glory ready to go for Tigers. Meanwhile, only the Sunfire Aegis for Sheesh as this Nunu. Tigers once again asserting his dominance in the jungle, picking up jungle camps as well in the process. Just rotating really well here and continuing to make things difficult for Sentinels.
For now, rotation, not quite the cleaver. Chunk, I was about to say, don't go for the dive on that turret. We'll get a little bit of a deja vu there in their matchup against Apes Together Strong, where he saw such a heavy rotation found on the top side and a nice response from the jungler that was able to capitalize. So learning, finding, not going to be the fool twice here.
Wisdom, there is experience in wisdom for sure. Or wisdom and experience, I guess, is the saying. And Tribe Gaming now, well, they have more experience than they did, maybe a couple of weeks ago. So scratch that. Hold on. We've got Jace falling. MTS will fall. Sheesh will pick up the kill against Tigers. So once again, a 1-for-1 trade. But, this Olaf is already scary. Death's Dance on the way. Sterox Gauge, the next item on the docket. 3-2. Not the best stat line, but still just in control.
He's still a massive gold lead ahead there of Sheesh. Actually, Tribe, we didn't quite get to see it there. Pumped in the mid lane as well, finding successful kills from beginnings. A nice rotation from Max Green on that Gragas there. Root found from Sheesh. Gonna see that ace in the hole from Rest to pump out some additional damage. Continued poke, and that's what this composition truly excels at. We haven't quite gotten to see the siege just yet, but that was a nice little taste of what is yet to come.
Maliuwu getting some damage onto the top tier 1 tower, will walk away. Package is ready to get picked up, so he'll be on his way back to getting that nice advantage ready to go. Chuck, however, really not having any problems against MTS and this Jace. He's got the damage, he's got the opportunities to heal it up, and now MTS may be in trouble as Dienzio gets the flank.
Oh, but MTS is quick to turn around here, straight into Hammerphone. It's going to be forcing the flash there out of Dienzio. Maybe a little bit too aggressive. And now some great punishment coming through from Sentinels. A very deep dive from Tigers, unable to be capitalized on with the combo from starting. So shoring up a little bit of the weaknesses across the map here. And with that jungler down, Sentinels straight onto the Rift.
Very ambitious play coming in from Tribe Gaming. They're playing a little bit looser than they did in game number 1. Sheesh is going to be able to pick up the Rift Herald because of this just, I think, unnecessary aggression. You get Rest, I think, really low there. Had you been able to get that kill, it might have been a different story. But, careless, I would say.
And the sad thing is, it's probably one of the more difficult targets to assume upon here. For now, though, looking like we got a little bit of that engage. You saw that Moonfall come through there on Sheesh with the follow through from Tigers. Mally going to go dashing over the wall to secure that kill. Starting now with his successful return on the Sheesh. Unable to find what he needs, though, on Mally. Walks out of that one as close as it was. Good stasis there on DNZO. Can Max Green save it? Not quite.
Beautiful from Sentinels. This is a great start. Explosive cast going to get used by Max Green to go for the disengage. And at the 10-minute mark, a dead even game, 33,000 gold each. And even though those neutral objectives in the early parts of the game went towards Tribe, we've got the Rift Herald ready to go for Sheesh. The Dragon and the River is picked up right now for Sentinels. They're going to have priority at the Dragon lane. Let's see what happens here.
And now we get to see the full birth of this composition. The fact that it can really poke out and lay down the law here once you get all of the pieces in action. Corki, Caitlyn, and Jace here. They're going to throw that Rift to get the control in this mid lane and find their way directly onto this ocean. Now, they already have control of this river, but I don't expect them to just immediately start this one up.
Sheesh is actually going to start off that Ocean Drake. Rest is in trouble and gets obliterated by the Wombo that's starting as Maliuwu now in trouble as well. We've got the papers getting thrown by Chuck. He's continuing to do that front line. He will fall. However, it's going to be Mally going golden, trying to be able to get away, but he cannot. Max Green is there. It is a shutdown for Dienzio. Donzi Shadows onto beginnings. The death sentence going to land, and the explosive cask is beautiful. It will end up being a 3-for-2 trade, but Sentinels running for the hills.
Running for the hills and giving up their position here onto that Drake. And they had the control there of that ocean, but they were not able to play into the fact that the dive, the rush, the rundown from that Mundo Olaf combo was just too much to handle. Maybe some additional spacing, pull that one back there, and this fight would have looked completely differently. Instead, picked out so early on, and Rest being out of it, the very beginning of that fight being a massive consequence.
And that wasn't a numbers game. That wasn't like, oh, Tribe Gaming, 7,000 gold in the lead and just was able to drop the wallet. That was an even fight, about as even as you're going to get up against Tribe Gaming, and the experience that Tribe Gaming was able to go for, catching Rest out of position, is their downfall. Now, they aren't out of the game. They're still only down by about 1,600 gold, but mess up once again, it could be, you know, now a 5,000 gold lead, and that could spell disaster.
For now, here you've got 3 pulled towards the Dragon side. Tiger's waiting on that side lane, potentially to respawn. Max going to push this one out in the mid. He's got to be careful. You've got Sheesh sitting on the back end. they pass by. 2 stragglers in the night. Not going to find each other anytime soon. Obviously, he can't pick up a kill in response there, and he doesn't know who might be there. But, yeah, it's funny as it gets.
You know, as we continue to see that happening, I want to look at MTS and this Jace. The Edge of Night, we've got the Black Cleaver ready to go. So, you know, starting to come online here. Sheesh actually going up against Max Green a little bit, maybe trying to find the root. This time keeping on with it. Beginnings is in the area. This could be an overcommit here by Sheesh. Max Green going to get down to about half HP, but now everyone is in trouble as the Daunting Shadows lands on the 4 Sentinels there. Ultimate's getting used all around, but at the end of the day, everyone handshakes and says, we'll reset.
Right, and the sad thing there, it was almost perfect setup if you had that Diana to come into play there. I could have almost visualized what was going to be that moonfall there, but of course putting it towards the sideline, unable to start that one up. The nice thing though was Sentinels who started that fight. They were the ones who found the initial engage there onto Max Green and tried to expend as much as possible. There was a return from Tribe, but even if they didn't come out on top, they were not the ones who forced that fight to begin with. So come out even, albeit not as successful as you might have wanted.
Well, starting was not a part of that one. Well, it would have been cool to see that multi-man moonfall. It was him in the bottom lane just wrecking havoc to that tier 1 tower there. Going to be able to pick that up. No outer structures alive for Sentinels. The bottom one for Tribe Gaming is on its last legs. So still an even game, still opportunities for Sentinels to find it, but the little micro decisions that Tribe has been able to just out-better Sentinels in, continuing to grow that gold lead.
Now, one thing I am curious about is whether or not Sentinels scaling damage can deal with the double front that exists here on Tribe. That is the timing matchup here. Either one is so tanky that they're able to run you down here, or Sentinels burst you out on your sprint down.
Yeah, and so now Sentinels, they've got some decisions to make. Baron is up. They do have vision of the river, but with the Mountain Drake alive here in just a couple of moments, that could be the 3rd dragon for Tribe Gaming as well. So there's definitely some opportunities that Tribe Gaming has because of the early pickups here on the neutral objectives. But 30 seconds remaining until the Mountain Drake spawns. Tribe Gaming looking to go towards this bottom side of the river, maybe looking to try to find a pick before the game really heats up at the Dragon Pit.
Getting those subtle resets off. Sentinels here going to try to find those rotations in there. Corky, of course, having that package available. The pings, though, to call out here, not going to work to Tribe's favor if they do make the apparent rotation towards that Baron, as the vision is down there. But thankfully, they pull off, even though they were throwing some attention that direction there on the minimap.
All summoner spells ready to go, all ultimates ready to go for a next very crucial team fight here in game number 2. Now, we get to see the composition come through. We've got the poke from Sentinels trying to come in, starting with the Lunar Rush, does not commit for the actual fight just yet, and Maliu will rest. It's their job to try to get that damage in. Beginnings will get hit, the death sentence will not land, and now Tribe Gaming may be looking to go in for this fight here.
Tiger's looking just as low, though, taken down to half health due to the additional poke here. Nice heal there coming, though, through from that redemption. And neither team have completely aggressed upon this Dragon. Tribe going to keep throwing all the potential here into this wave, push it into the tier 2, and force a response out of the Sentinels.
Yeah, but unfortunately there, Maliwu does no longer have the package, will not be able to use it. Had he had it there, starting might have fallen. Ragnarok going to get used by Tigers to be able to get away. So they don't take the tower. They lose it. Sheesh with the snowball, going to land the knockup. The Dawning Shadows is there. Tigers is trying to survive. Absolute Zero will be enough. Max Green, though, going to be able to get the knockup onto Sheesh. He's trying to come through. A nice explosive class going to displace everybody. The Moonfall is going to be able to get two. Beginning's going to flash. Rest is going to flash. Maliwu comes in. He is extremely low. The death sentence is there onto Chuck, but he does not care. Max Green goes golden, but the fight is not done just yet. MTS will go golden in the front lines. Max Green is extremely low, and he will fall. Beginnings will miss the death sentence, and the rest of Tribe Gaming now will be able to retreat.
MTS there, finding his way into the back end of the fight, saving the day for Sentinels. Tribe Gaming had all the gas in the world to continue their assault and potentially pick up those successful kills there by disrupting that one with the JC. Forced a wonderful split to be found there between Max Green and the rest of Tribe there. Now, Maliwu might be looking low, but he does push starting off here. And now Sentinels, of course, going to be able to take what they want here from this third Drake.
Nice play from Sentinels. Well, they didn't necessarily get everything that they wanted out of that fight. They will pick up the Mountain Drake. Infernal Soul will be live in a couple of minutes now if it gets to that point. For Zephyr, I mean, this game has not disappointed. I'm very impressed with what Sentinels has come up with. This is as good as you're going to get if you are Sentinels right now. Will they be able to continue to keep it going? They've had some great fights so far, but Tribe Gaming, they're still in the lead.
Yeah, they might be in lead in terms of the gold here, but as this game continues to find its way on later and later, it's getting much harder for Tribe to run this one down, right? We talked about it just a few moments ago. Is Tribe tanking enough to assume all of that damage to find their way into successful engage, right? And it's getting to the point where you have targets like Mali, Rest, who are just too much to handle there on your assault forward. For now, though, Tribe, they take their control that they still do have on the overall lead and pick up a nice Baron. I kind of am surprised that Sentinels didn't step up there. They have a Siege Comp. They have Poke available. I mean, granted, no vision, but still something to work with.
Maybe they were nervous. I mean, I would be scared too. I'm nervous just seeing this.
They've had some really good defenses. I don't think they're just like they just want to completely handshake that one out. But hey, it's otherwise. It's in the history.
Yeah, now Tribe Gaming using this objective as much as they can. They've increased the lead back to about 3k gold, and now the siege has begun. Dienzo will take the mid lane tier 2 tower and will continue to keep up the momentum with those super minions. The explosive cast is going to get used to try to get the displacement. Doesn't work, but Green will have that back up online in just a bit. Meanwhile, Maliwu in trouble. Beginnings was there to keep him alive, so another tier 2 tower is going to go down, and the siege continues for Tribe Gaming as the fight maybe looking to reach a conclusion here. Starting is going to get hit by the root. The Absolute Zero will get flashed away as we get a root on to Beginnings, and the fight is continuing to be there, but Tribe Gaming, they've got what they wanted, and they're looking to run away.
All they have to do is pull off the successful reset here, and they can potentially play with more Barons to work with, but the follow-through from Mali says otherwise. A nice forward there from Olaf to try to play into that Ragnarok. He's got both stasises out and potentially the time to run this one away, but Tribe, they look to fight it. It's deep into the backline. Dienzio trying to fight against the world. Starting goes in, finds the double. Moonfall and Chug flashing over the wall. Picks up one as well here. Now 2 members down. The rest looking so low here. Baron still on the board and no turrets. Tribe are gonna walk this one down.
I am gobsmacked, Zephyr. Dienzio survives that play. I can't believe it. Goes golden at the perfect moment, and this time the explosive class is explosive as Beginnings falls, the Nexus falls, and Tribe Gaming takes the series and will head off to the playoffs for Rift Masters.
Tribe Gaming, absolutely masterful control here across the board all of today and yesterday here into our last chance qualifier. And while, yes, that game too was looking maybe a little bit more dicey than usual here for the Tribes aspects, they still managed to pull it off, keeping complete dominance through and through.
Man, but shout out to Sentinels. I mean,
Yeah.
that was bravo to them. That was, I mean, really, really close indeed. Unfortunately, whether it was nerves, whether it was, you know, just miscommunication, whatever it may be, the fact that Tribe Gaming was able to get Baron for free against the competition that Sentinels built up was just so unfortunate. Maliu Wu, 30,000 damage. Rest 30,000 damage, but it didn't matter. The health bars, the resistance that Tribe Gaming had is going to be enough for them to build up.
This is, I mean, you said it yourself just a second ago, but it can't be said in any better way. I mean, Sentinels had a really great source of control with that comp being so heavily involved into the poke there. And with the Baron, of course, they didn't have the vision to work with. I honestly think there was a moment where they could have easily set up, you know, rotate that one forward, play off the Nunu, being that subtle front to get your foot in the door there, and then continue to just launch that one forward. We saw the rush in those last moments from Mali there. Mali, my apologies. They had the damage. I mean, obviously he didn't find the successful kills there, but imagine that comboed in with the Caitlyn, with the Jace here in a moment before.
Yeah, I mean, that last fight just was so sad for Sentinels.
Yeah.
The Enzio, less than 100 HP. You had starting less than 100 HP. You had, I think, Tigers was almost dead at that point. Everyone was dead, but nobody fell. And that just goes to show how much in control Tribe Gaming has, not only of the specific champions that they're playing, but how confident they feel in those dire straight situations. And unfortunately, the play from Sentinels doesn't work out. I respect it, though, and very much so, because, you know, that was an opportunity for them to potentially get the game back into their favor. But unfortunately, it doesn't work out. Tribe Gaming takes the series 2-0. Let's take a look at the bracket, see how Tribe Gaming was able to make it here. You see them go through. They take down Infinity. They take down Apes Together strong, and then they take down Sentinels. They are your champions. Clean sweep across the board. 2-0s all around.
And now Tribe Gaming, they'll find their way forward, of course, towards our RiftMSTRS finals, where they'll be competing up against Immortals, Chonk and Cloud9 here. I believe those first matches being Immortals versus Tribe Gaming and Chonk versus Cloud9. So definitely some incredible series to behold here right from the get-go.
Yeah, and playoffs are going to be so fun. I think I'm going to be there for some of them. It's a double elimination bracket. You're going to be there as well, Zephyr. It's going to be a blast. Double elimination is always fun to see because you give that chance to try again, even if you fall into the lower bracket. But unfortunately, we got to wait a couple of days before that happens. So there's some prep time. There's some opportunities for these teams to figure it out. 4 days until we get to see it, Zephyr. It's been an absolute blast being able to cast with you today.
Absolutely. And I want to thank everyone, of course, who come out to support the RiftMSTRS broadcast. Once again, if you want to support what we do here, go ahead and throw out those follows, whether it be on Twitch or, of course, on the many other social platforms you do see below. If you like what you heard from both me and Moose here, consider giving us a follow on our respective Twitter accounts. You can see them directly in the corners, of course. As for us, though, here on Desk, we're going to be working our way away here from tonight's series. We hope you all stay safe and have a good night.